The Avatar universe is now entering a brand new era because Netflix has not only continued the live action The Last Airbender series but has also officially opened the gate of the final war with season 2 confirmed for 2026 and the final season 3. Already having complete filming, it's now clear that the story has been planned as a massive epic with a clearly defined beginning and end. From the dark side of the Earth Kingdom to the shifting balance brought by Toph arrival from Azuzel rise to the approaching Sozai's comet. Nothing in the Avatar world will ever be the same again. So before we jump into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. With this new era, the story moved away from water-trap defense and marched straight into the heart of the Earth Kingdom. The dark political structure of Ba Sing Se, Fire Nation behind the scenes, manipulation, and the true face of the war will now be revealed in full. Netflix produced have openly stated that this season will be exploited with scenes that were never shown even in the animated series, and that the tone will be far more mature and much darker. In other words, Avatar is completely leaving behind its kid show identity and transforming into an epic war story made for adults. One of the biggest force joining the story with season 2 in undoubtedly Toph Bethel, making her official entrance into the live-action universe. Toph is not just a new character; she represents a turning point that fundamentally reshaped Gang Kong power, and she will bring the resistance, spirit, and war thoughtness of the Earth Kingdom of the screen, finally making Gong feel truly complete. In the first teaser images released, we can clearly see that Gang has gone much older, much more serious, and now carries the full weight of the war on their shoulder. Aang is not longer just a child running from danger, and he's an ever-growing the face of the world. Katara is moving toward the peak of her power. Sokka is no longer just the planner, but is being a true butterfly leader. And Zuko is rapidly approaching the point where the most choice on his desk. At this point, Netflix's real move comes into play because season 3 already being completely means that the ending of the story is already locked in. We are entering an era where Sozi Compact is approaching. The Fire Nation is preparing for its final assault, and Gang has nowhere left to run. Season 2 is not just a continuation season, it is the massive preparations phase that opened the gates on the final war that will explain in season 3. On the Fire Nation side, the darkness began to feel for more interest. Fire Lord Oz's shadow is no longer just a looming threat, it is turning into a real preparation for global destruction. With Azula fully stepping into the battlefield, the balance of the war completely shifted. The fall of Amish and the systematic takeover of Earth Kingdom cities proved that his world has collapsed into a point of no return. From here on, no city in the Avatar world is truly safe. Ba Sing Se, the heart of the Earth Kingdom, will be one of the most critical locations of season 2. The legendary "There is no war in a Ba Sing Se" atmosphere will be taken into a far harsher and more political dimension in the live-action version. It's not just a war, manipulation, brainwashing, and the power game will dominate. Long Feng and the doilies behind the scene control mechanism become a threat just as a daughter as the danger Fire Nation in this dark environment. Toph's presence becomes both a beacon of hope and moment of working for gain. Her harsh attitude, refuse to bow to anyone, and direct combat style will also reshape Aang's leadership. Aang is no longer just a child who wants peace. He is beginning to come as our avatar who will not. He started to fight well necessary. Top arrival will be the drive force behind this transformation. On Octo's side, the balance between power and responsibility growth heavily. She is no longer just healing on spot. She became a fearless bender who can change the source of better. The dark and more aggressive side of water behind and explore more clearly, while Katara in higher conflict from the emotional backbone of the story. This season will test not only her power but also her character. Sokka now wrestles not with Homer but with leadership. He becomes the key figure who plans better, direct trope, and keep gang together. His Homer is still part of him, but behind the job now leans real pressures and responsibility. So he is no him longer him brain of child adventure but the tragic mind of a real war. Zuko's story will be one of the heaviest and most dramatic arc of the season. His journey, which began as the excited prince of the Fire Nation, now pushed him into the rocking with his past and his family legacy. Growing up under Okza's shadow, Zuko will now have a fight not only external enemies but also with this darkness within himself. The decision he makes will directly shape of the fate of the final war. On Azu's side, power began to feel completely out of control. She no longer represents just as anti-ghost, she became the symbol of the approaching Great War. Her manipulation, intelligence, and cruelty become the more pillar holding up Fire Nation Empire for Season 2. Will be the begin where we witness, also well season 3 will be where we live together the consequences of the destruction and unleashes. With season 3 already completed, it means the ending of this character arc and already locked in. Nothing will left unfinished, no character will be remain open and under a will season later approach. This story has been designed from start or finish for a fully planned cinematic final, clearly showing that Avatar live action universe is not of Netflix more series and ambitions project. As Saw's comet approach, the sense of any bull drum hanging over the story will grow however the every episode. The cosmic trait blazing project, the story will multiply the Fire Nation power and drain the world into an irresistible war. There is no more running, hiding on borrowing time and road now lead to single destination and final war. At this point, the Avatar universe stopped being just a story of salvation and transformation into the mass war epic that will determine that fate of an entire generation. Gang are not longer just trying to save the world, they are beginning to the transformation. Season 2 marking the beginning of his transformation, and season 3 will be the final curtain of this epic. As this story movie close to the final season, the arrival of new character clearly shows just how massive his war will be. The entities of legendary sword master like Pandya and a powerful figure like Hama prove that the final war will not be a battle between Bandit alone. It will be a struggle that determines the fate of the entire world. These characters will both depend Aaron's journey and force the story to question the moral and ethical cost of war. The fact that season 3 already has completed shows that Netflix seasons his story not as an ordinary season but as a 3-act epic. The first act was working, the second act will be beginning of war, and the third act will be the grand finale where the fate of the world in return. Avatar is not longer just a nostalgic adaptation. It has become one of the modern television greatest epic project. In the final war, it would not be just power that matters. Sacrifice will start, and the fortune every character will have something to lose, something to give up, and difficult decisions to make. The Avatar world will comfort review not with the question who will win, but with the forever question of where will sacrifice what. This dark and mature Avatar era, which began with season 2, will turn into the closing chapter of a massive epic with the final war exploding in season 3, not just a battle against Fire Nation, but a war that will determine the fate of the entire world. The decision Aang, Katara, Zuko, and Toph will lay the foundation of a new era, and we are incredibly excited to follow every step of the great story together. If you don't want to miss his final war journey in the Avatar universe, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel The Movie Master 92. See you in the next video.